Picture a river at twilight. Drifting along the dark, quiet current is a small, ornate silver box. Crack the lid open, and you won't find jewels or gold. Inside rests a single, impossibly long strand of black hair. In the rich oral traditions of Odisha, on the eastern coast of India, finding this box is a recurring motif. It functions as an inescapable invitation to destiny for whoever pulls it from the water. The storytelling spits at the exact moment the box is opened. This setup branches into two divergent narratives. One path leads to survival horror against a man-eating demon, while the other triggers a class-based rebellion. How do ancient storytellers take a single fragile symbol, a strand of hair, and use it to map out such different blueprints for human survival? Let's follow the first path, a folktale known as Keshavati Kanya. A prince hunting by the river finds the silver box. Obsessed with the hair, he locks himself in his room and refuses to eat until he can marry its owner. To save his heir from starvation, the king issues an impossible decree. He commands 1,200 carpenters to construct a flying chariot by sunrise. If they fail, their entire lineage will be executed. The craftsmen are paralyzed by fear, but an old carpenter overhears a mother vulture talking to her chicks. She mentions that a flying chariot can only be carved from the wood of the kadamba tree. Armed with this stolen knowledge, the carpenters build the ship and survive. The flying chariot eventually lands near an underwater palace ruled by an ancient flesh-eating Rakshasi, a demoness who has devoured an entire kingdom. Inside, the prince finds the girl with the long hair, Keshavati Kanya, who has been raised by the demon as a captive. To keep the prince and his friend from being eaten when the demon returns at sunset, Keshavati Kanya employs a daily survival mechanic. She transforms the young men into houseflies, hiding them on the palace pillars to mask their human scent. The demoness believes she is immortal, but the captive girl extracts the logic of her weakness. To kill her, 3 conditions must be met. The attacker must be male. He must use a specific toothed hoe hidden in the courtyard, and not a single drop of the demon's blood can touch the earth. The heroes dig up the hoe and wait for the demon to sleep. Striking her head on the bed, they capture every drop of spilling blood in the fabric, bypassing the earthbound curse and ending her reign. This first tale offers a lesson in asymmetrical warfare. You dismantle overwhelming monstrous power through patience, espionage, and exploiting hidden rules. Now, let's look at the second path, the story of Rajkumari Sukeshini. This time, the silver box is scooped up by a destitute old woman. She sees the hair and decides to find its owner to marry her lazy woodcutter son, Budia. The woman and her husband devise a public test. The old man sits on the main path leading from the river, deliberately stretching his legs out to block the young women returning from the bathing ghat. Most of the girls haughtily step over the old man, but Princess Sukeshini stops. Out of respect for his age, she gently moves his feet with her hands. Because she showed this humility, she binds herself to her promise of marriage to his son. The social stakes are high. Rather than break her word, the princess abandons her royal privilege. Her father, the king, is so humiliated by the prospect of a woodcutter son-in-law that he banishes her from the palace. Her transition to peasant life is chaotic. When she goes into the forest to meet her new husband, Budia is terrified. He has never seen anyone so beautiful, assumes she is a malevolent forest spirit, and physically attacks her with a wooden plank. After she flees in tears, Budia is forced to go after her. He chases her down the path and sings a repentant song, admitting his ignorance. She stops, turns around, and accepts his apology, establishing a new bond. The story rewards her choice to honor her vow over her royal status. When she tells Budia to fetch the bundle of firewood he dropped earlier, he finds the rough branches transmuting into solid, glowing gold bars. By honoring a vow that cost her a palace, Sukeshini bypasses the need for inherited status. The gold in the forest is the physical manifestation of her resolve. In this branch, the weight of a person's word is what ultimately rewrites the destiny. At the end of both stories, the protagonists achieve the same destination. Both sets of characters secure wealth, domestic peace, and royal validation. But the hare in the silver box was a passive catalyst. It cast no spells and defeated no enemies. It simply forced the characters to reveal who they were. The real driving forces were always human actions. In the demon's palace, survival required tactical cunning. On the road to the woodcutter's hut, triumph required unwavering moral fortitude. These folktales function as societal blueprints. They pack practical lessons about class dynamics and survival tactics inside a protective shell of monsters and miracles. The next time you hear a myth from your own region, look past the magic box or the enchanted sword. Look for the architecture underneath and ask yourself exactly what kind of survival the story is trying to teach you.